Here's the perception match for organization and leadership. The leaders see the organization more positively than themselves. Managers are the opposite view, and workforce is somewhat opposite as well, seeing the leadership more positively than the organization. This would be something to talk about here, looking at the management scoring right on the edge between an Org 3 and an Org 4 related to the organization. It'd be interesting to raise that discussion to see what might be behind that scoring. Now this is interesting here on job satisfaction. Generally the top leaders were above everyone else in their perceptions, but of the 6 key areas of organizational health. But here they're below and actually need improvement in job satisfaction. And I think this is one of the areas that the top leaders will need to take a look at and discuss why is the job satisfaction lower. And sometimes when this occurs, there is a huge amount of stress on top leaders. And this is stress that managers and the workforce don't see day to day. But it's sometimes revealed in the OLA when top leaders are honest and they speak in the 6 areas right down here at the bottom of the page, the 6 areas that each person is assessing for job satisfaction, and they score those low because they're not sure that they're really feeling good about their contribution to the organization, that they're working at a high level of productivity. And so this may be an area for the top leaders or the ones they report to, from, like the board, for instance, to take a look at. Managers are doing pretty well, and workforce also are in a good range for job satisfaction. Okay, we then look at readiness for change. We're actually at a moderate to good, and so this is encouraging. You want to encourage this organization that there's a moderate to good readiness for change. Workers and leaders possess a sufficient level of energy for pursuing change, which suggests that an ability exists to improve in the 6 key areas of organizational health. So, though this organization is in a pretty good situation, a level 4, they obviously want to improve. They want to move to a level 5, and this suggests that they have good energy as an organization to pursue that. All right. Then we can take a look at the detailed report, and you can go down and begin to see some of the differences here that exist. For instance, here's top leaders that are low on I feel appreciated by my supervisor for what I contribute to the organization. Interesting score where the top leader is the lowest in that area and may need some attention. Here's a low one for the managers. People in this organization respect each other. A very much a lower response than the workforce and the top leaders. And it may suggest an issue that exists between the managers and the top leaders. That's something to discuss when you get with them. Here's another example of that. People in this organization trust each other. I would pay attention to this because it's lower than the workforce, quite a bit lower than the top leaders. And my best guess is that there's an issue here between managers and top leaders that would need to be discussed. Okay? So as you look at the detailed report, it's going to give you a chance to isolate some specific target areas for improvement. Okay, let's continue on down. We're looking there at develop people. Shared leadership was the highest. Let's look at provides leadership because that was the lowest. And you can see here again there's quite a level of agreement between top leaders, managers, and workforce. Here's one here. It would be interesting to have a discussion on number 49. Leaders in this organization communicate clear plans and goals for the organization. Managers see that low. Workforce also in a level 3. And then top leaders not that much higher, almost to a level 4. There are meaningful differences here in, or actually agreement in this particular area. Let's in the area of shared leadership. So there's some things to work on certainly in that area. Something you don't see all that often, which is a pretty good level of agreement on shared leadership, that it is relatively high. And this particular organization allows people to make decisions, allows them to lead, allows them to act. Here's your job satisfaction. And again, here we can isolate a little bit where the top leader issue was. And here it says, number 64, I enjoy working in this organization. And the two top leaders scored that pretty low. Also relatively low is I'm able to use my best gifts and abilities in my job. So some discussion with the top leaders about these would be helpful. This might be a good opportunity to suggest executive coaching, discussions perhaps with the board of directors about job definition. Some of that may come from looking at that detailed report. Okay, here are the highest scores, and they're actually very strong. So you can see what everyone in the organization sees as strong. And here with the workforce, all in an Org 5, which is a servant-led area, they'll feel appreciated by supervisors, leaders encourage, receive encouragement and affirmation. I'm respected by those leaders in this organization do not demand special recognition. So good indications. Let's look at the lower ones. I'm assuming some of them will be down into a 2 and a 3. And this is useful because now you can isolate where the workforce sees the lower areas. The lowest is people in this organization know where this organization is headed in the future. This organization clearly needs to work on providing leadership, needs to work on visioning, needs to work on strategic planning. And you can identify through this part of the report a number of things that could be discussed and worked upon. But you can see this one is provide leadership, this one's provide leadership, this one's provide leadership. So 3 out of the 6 are from that one area. Okay, let's look at the perception match. Low and high actually start with the high. These are the areas that top leaders in the workforce are in exact agreement on. And here's where they differ. So you can begin to look at where the largest difference, this is the largest one. In shared leadership, people in this organization are encouraged by supervisors to share in making important decisions. Difference in that particular one. Okay, and also some more provide leadership areas. Okay, then we can look at the managers to the workforce agreement. Here at the very top are the highest perception match items, and then of course here's where they begin to differ. And the highest or the lowest perception match item is this one. Leaders in this organization encourage people to take risks, even if they may fail. And that's in a provide leadership category. And then finally, we look here, and this is going to be important. We saw that there are some differences between managers and top leaders. And you see where the highest perception matches are, and then you can begin to see where the lowest. And what's very interesting here is the top 3, or we'll call it the lowest 3, perception matches are all display authenticity. And so that gives you a very clear pattern. People in this organization maintain high ethical standards. Well, huge disagreement between managers and top leaders. People in this organization demonstrate high integrity and honesty. Again, huge difference. And the third, people in this organization are trustworthy. Again, if I guessed at this, you'd have to enter into some conversation, get people to talk openly and honestly about this. But I believe the issues here are between the managers and the top leaders, and some open, honest, facilitated discussion needs to take place. So you can begin to see from this report how you can begin to lead this organization. Let's go back to that sort of key page. And here we are right here with the key perception match. You see that the difference here when you look at the averages, it helps you, it gives you an idea of why this organization is a level 4, but in particular key areas, if we go on down to the bottom of the report, right here between, as we look at managers and top leaders, you can begin to see the level of detail that's going to help you as the consultant to identify target areas for improvement. And specific areas that might be a little touchy, you might need to deal with just with managers and just with top leaders. Okay, that concludes our review of a Level 4 organization. And each report that you view is going to be different. It's going to be unique. But this gives you a feel of what an Org 4 looks like.